The worst thing you can do for your business is get what's called an S Corp election. S Corp elections sound great, and you've probably heard from everybody you should get one. That is terrible advice, and I'm explaining to you why. S Corps have a lot of limitations around them, meaning things like reasonable wages become a factor. Now all of a sudden I have to W-2 myself a reasonable compensation based on the net income of the business. Why is that important? Because let's say my business makes $1 million. I'm now W-2ing myself with the highest tax liability on $400,000 of that money. Stupidest thing we can do. Instead, what we want to do is we want to drive a small amount of money, maybe $60,000, $70,000 into my personal name. That is taxable. However, the rest of the money needs to go into a dynasty trust. And you're probably thinking, why a dynasty trust? Why not an S Corp? A dynasty trust can't own S Corps, but a dynasty trust has a lot more deductions that your business doesn't have. So sure, you can deduct your F-350, but what you can't deduct things like private placement insurance policies or various other expenses. And this allows us to shift the money into a dynasty trust, take all of the income and spend it on legitimate deductions and investments, and then turn around and report a zero net income to the IRS on the dynasty trust. This right here is how the ultra wealthy play the game. They don't pay themselves a reasonable wage on all of their money because then they'd be owing millions of dollars. Instead, they pay nothing on the reasonable wage side, and they turn around and they drive it all to a trust, which has way more strategy than you or I do. That's the key right there. If you want to learn how to set up your own trust and do this for yourself, comment trust down below, and I will show you guys the free blueprint.